It's another Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Veronica Danny Boy. With me, as usual, are my co-hosts. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
YK in the building.
Yo, Veronica. Welcome to Your
I've
View.
been rehearsing how I was going to say this. YK in the building.
Yo. Welcome, Veronica. Welcome to Your View.
Thank you so much.
Host of Your View.
Yes.
The assistant, I be standing. Standing in host. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Yes.
And good to have you here.
You know, I always love your beauty. You're so beautiful.
Now I'm blushing. Nima, please. Nima, please.
On the weight loss journey.
What is she losing?
Nima, we had an agreement yesterday.
Okay, I even have your rant.
Please, before you rant,
let
me rant first. NEPA, you are my problem. NEPA is my only problem.
I have the story. It's in the
See, you have the story of NEPA?
NEPA, yes. They're having issues.
I didn't see it too.
They're having issues.
The upper
It's terrible.
Every day, I am.
So are you saying you didn't have a good weekend?
If you are spending 60,000 for 240 liters every day to run your business, you cannot have a good weekend. Okay.
You can rant, Nima.
Okay, this morning, I
tested
the situation of the story of Nigerians. So there's a falling container at Isolo under the bridge, which caused traffic for us. So falling out to merge into want to pass it. The government had done their part. They were there, they were clearing traffic, and we were passing. So these small buses, you know, the way they just try to oppress small cars, were oppressing me. The molo in front of me had oppressed. I had to wait for it to go. When I thought he had cleared, I went after it, but there's a coaster bus right behind it, trying to do the same thing it had done successfully, thinking she's just a woman, she'll wait. So I waited again because, of course, it would scratch me. Unfortunately for this coaster bus, it had already picked my bumper from the front, from the side, and it just drew a line. This is the car that just got back from paint work. I just picked it up over the weekend from my husband, and I just started to use it this week. And he picked it, and I got down, I parked at Isolo, got down and confirmed that he had brushed my car, and I started running after it. At every bus stop he stops, I stop. The Agberos there will beat hell out of the car. Go, leave, we are blocking our walk. So I pushed it, I said, okay, there's civil government agency at LASMA office. It's certainly going towards K2. So I kept pushing it. Fortunately for me, there was a LASMA Hilux van parked in front of LASMA. And I signaled them, and I parked this car, I blocked him. The first thing that came out from, this is a coaster bus. That's about 30 people in that bus, and not one single person. Up until we had argued for about over 10 minutes before I heard one person say the truth. Even the driver and the conductor refused to accept that they brushed that car. Oh, God. They were like, Madam, what did you do to you? Oh, beru along. And the people were cursing. I said, okay, come.
The people in the bus were coming.
I'm telling you, the conductor saw that the paint was on my car. They saw the evidence and everything. And a policeman walked to the conductor and said, quickly clean it. This woman has a case. And right there in front of me, the evidence was taken out. I was saying to the conductor, leave my car, leave my car. They said, is it not beg that they are begging you? You're acting like God. I'm telling you. Right there, they cleaned that evidence and then started their case again that I was lying on the driver. It was now between me and the driver and God to own up to what happened.
This is sad.
Even a Muslim girl in hijab started telling me a story of how accident worse than that has cost her family's life, and I should have just left him. Why am I blocking them and denying them from going to their place of work?
Because they were thinking about themselves.
I suddenly became a liar in front of public.
No, my own problem is it's not even the apology. Take responsibility.
Yes.
It's not about take responsibility before you apologize, because we do not take responsibility, and that's the problem. We have because we keep on accusing government, but each individual, we all have our own case to answer.
Of course. We refuse to take responsibility.
So sorry.
Like I lost my temper once when men start to try to block my car for brushing them. I was like, every day on that traffic, I suffered these kind of things, and you won't let it go.
So government people, they are the same Nigerians that enter and misbehave.
We are the same Nigerians.
It's the same.
Very because our 5 minutes is up.
So amazing and grateful this morning because of this avoiding traffic, because I come all the way. I usually pass that Fagba road. I had to leave. I got here by 5:45 this morning because I started driving again. I had to leave very early so I don't meet, because there's nothing you can do when they hold you there. The next thing you hear is because she has a car, she's a woman, and that's it.
That's the regular talk. But then We are glad to be here this morning.
Thank God.
Nima, take it easy. We
You'll
have
be
a
all
long
right.
show ahead of us.
You'll
be all right.
I'm still in shock. 30 people, not one honest person.
You'll be all right.
I'm still in shock.
All right, when we return, front page reviews starts. Stay with us. All right, let's take a look at the papers. The screaming headline on the Punch is YCE Ohaneze SMBL knock FG as the federal government as court stops CJN's trial. Onoge must face trial, says the APC. That's according to the Punch newspapers. You find a story on page 2. And then we have 11 firms jostled to run Ajakuta Steel Company, page 25. I'm interested in that story because I grew up there. And then moving on, Genco's threatening to shut down power plants. A government court dismisses Adebutu's suit against Kashamu's nomination. Minimum wage we are monitoring now, says the NLC. Nobody can turn Buhari against me and Mosun. Boko Haram, Dixon office falling pilots widows automatic employment. You find that story on page 3. Hijab crisis hits Lautech school, 50 locked out. Bale's wife's death. Falano writes Lagos 6 coroner's inquest. Gunmen attack Sakwato Kaduna communities. My government won't promise and fail like Buhari, says Atiku. Now, who has the CJM story? You have that?
No, the human interest.
Okay, you have the human interest first. Okay, yeah. And YK has that.
Yeah, it's 45-year-old lady, Mrs. Kalejaye. They rushed her to the hospital on the 11th of December, yeah. Falano has actually taken up the case because she got to the hospital. They didn't, they gave her, while she was in the wheelchair, they said they didn't have beds, so they put the drip and oxygen. And then they now took it off without telling, she was sitting in the wheelchair, and then they now took it away. And they said they were going to refer her, that they didn't have beds, so they couldn't treat her there. So they removed it without telling the family before they referred her. It took a while before they referred her. And then, of course, on the way to the hospital, she died. The referral, she died. So Falano has taken it up and he's accusing a Dr. Olagunjoye for negligence and...
Negligence, certainly.
So what is the government doing about providing adequate
the hospital had the responsibility to stabilize. There's always this, that's why they have emergency unit. They will have to stabilize before they refer. So they won't just leave her, take out, like YK said, take out the
negligence on their part.
On their part, that's mentioned.
So I have the Boko Haram story.
No, the Bayelsa state governor who paid a condolence visit to the wives of the pilots that died in the course of duty, and he promised automatic employment to the wives, 2 of them. One is actually serving, so once she's done, she'll get a job, and he said, according to him, that he's doing it in order to support people that the disease have left behind. And this is a very good one, because if the security officials have that hope that when they die and they go, their families will be taken care of, they will put their minds to the job.
That's why they're actually being celebrated at this time. Today is Armed Forces Remembrance Day. And so the falling and those still alive are being celebrated for their efforts towards securing lives and property. Then who has the minimum wage story?
The Genco story. Okay.
Is that the NEPA story? Please talk about it.
So the Association of Power Generation people, that's the APGC, the Executive Secretary, Joy Ogaji, says that they will have, they are threatening to stop generation of electricity due to certain things. One of them is the liquidity issues, power rejection by discos for this. The people who are supposed to distribute power are rejecting the powers they've generated. So they have, like the Minister for Power has said, that they are generating as much as they need. Distribution is the problem. Yeah. So there was this middle issue that he cited, that she's confirming here, that they're rejecting the power generated and that they have gas constraint issues. Some of their thermals are on maintenance now, so they are not even working. A lot of issues that they have like that, and they're insisting that government must answer them and look into it.
No, they close down.
I think they should grant
this was privatized, right?
States governors to start their own distribution.
You know, there are some things on the exclusive list.
I ask you this question, I beg. They want to stop the generation of the power that there is no power.
No, it's not distribution that is the challenge.
She said that the ones that they have even generated,
the Gencos don't want to give the people that are rejecting the distribution. Those ones they are rejecting, we are suffering.
distribution.
But it's not
Generation and rejection.
We need further distribution channels.
That's
so
just
maybe
the
each
issue.
state should be empowered to look into power generation for their states and, you know, create companies that can help further distribute.
Well, that's in the exclusive list, so it has to be worked on.
It has to be worked on.
All right, let's move on to the Nation newspapers. The major headline says APC PDP quarrel over CJN Onogan's trial. Parties in row over declaration of asset charges. No phone calls for collation officers. INEC issues final guidelines. Then alleged 702 million naira fraud. Okupe arraigned. Buhari names Adamu as acting IGP. And then oil prices dip on weak data. Kwara APC insists on change. Michael Moses on Palace radar. Exercise Egu AK the third in Lagos. Who has
So the APC and PDP they've had their back and forth over the CJN's issue. The CJN yesterday entered appearance through his lawyers. He wasn't personally present in court at the CCT and entered his preliminary objections to why the court doesn't have jurisdiction to see him because some certain procedures were not met. And further went to get some injunctions from the Federal High Court, stopping the court from looking into it until procedural due process was followed to his arraignment. But you know the parties now, PDP, they are claiming that APC is, you know, they want to silence the court, they are abusing the independence of the judiciary. The APC is insisting, if a person forgets $900,000 in an account and forgets to declare it, he's criminally inclined and, you know, they're insisting. So they were going back and forth. That's basically what the papers do.
They are turning it into a political...
I'm telling you.
Issue. There's been several sentiments to that story, but then let's quickly move on to the Vanguard now. You can't try me on Ogande's CCT as a declaration charge. And we have Adamu Mohammed, new IGP. That's a question. Nigeria's rising debt profile worrisome. NECA, INEC releases poll guidelines, bans collation officers from making calls. Middle Belt Forum raises alarm over renewed killings. We see pre-election stability, post-election slowdown. That's financial experts talking there. Lautech bans 55 students over use of hijab. Buhari Atiku campaign team in sharp exchanges over power shift. Alleged 702 million naira fraud. Okupe docked, granted 100 million naira bail.
So the Adamu Mohammed story. So there's this speculation that the AIG will emerge the IG of police. But it has not been confirmed. The spokesperson to the president has not said he cannot confirm the story, though they had a closed-door meeting between the IGP and the president yesterday. But there's also speculation. There's like an anxiety that if he emerges, because there are a lot of people who are above him in that, in their ranking. So the DIGs, they are saying that if finally he emerges, they might have to just resign because he cannot just come and topple them. So that's what they are looking at.
But the IG has been asked to resign because he has, to retire rather, because he has met the required 35 years and his age.
So I wanted to say the hijab.
I was just wondering that he's retiring at 60. But we have presidential candidates and presidents and who are,
you know, for each...
Those are they're elected now.
Of course, there is...
They have their age limit.
So there's no retirement for presidency.
You want to contest?
No, me, I'm entering retirement. I have to retire from your view very soon.
Elected
office. 60 in 2 years. All right. Nima, quickly, because we are running out of time.
Limited time. I want to take the hijab story, the Lautech story. So, according to the reports in Punch, the writer was saying that since 2011, they've been in talks with the school authority to permit and a large number of them, Muslims children, to wear the hijab on their uniform, conforming with the colors of the school to school. But for some weird reason, the board of the school is insisting on them doing the beret and refusing to even negotiate with the parents who are asking for this, small grants for students who are already conforming with the colors of the school. You know, of course, where my sentiments would lie. I don't understand why that refusal is granted.
It's obvious.
But so yesterday, 50 students came to the school in their hijab and they were locked out of school by the school.
We know where your sentiments are. You know where my own will lie.
Of course.
I just wanted to correct myself. Falana is not suing them. He's writing. He has written.
That there should be an inquest into that case, actually. Well, that's the much we can take from the newspaper headlines this morning. But next we will we will like to hear your views on ACP Abayomi Shogunle's take on self-defense. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Well, thanks for staying with us. Recently, a Twitter user asked ACP Abayomi Shogunle if it is a crime to defend oneself with weapon from robbers who attack you in your home. However, he replied saying it is called self-defense in law. Now, even if you kill the robber in stated circumstances, your action is lawful. Now, right to protect yourself, your family, or your property from attack. Now, I don't think it is illegal if a house owner occupier throws acid or robbers attacking the house. That's what he said. Now, what are your thoughts on this? So join the conversation on 070-8066-8014. Tweet to us at TVC Connect with the hashtag YourViewTVC. Ladies, what are your thoughts? I'll start with Obi. I know she can't wait.
I want to say thank you so much to Officer Yomi Shogunle for telling us this. Because I stand with him on this. Because I understand the psychology of, you know, a thief or an armed robber. Really? Why am I standing with him?
How did you get to understand the psychology of a thief? I need to understand.
Are you a thief?
That's how I established it now. She's
an armed robber?
So for three reasons.
Tell us now.
Come on. For three reasons. So the first is the motive of an armed robber is to take what belongs to you forcefully. And if peradventure you resist, to maim you, and that is why they are armed in the first place. The psychology at the time they are robbing is the fact that they have suspended their conscience at that moment, and that makes them desperate. So anything can happen. And finally, you as a person, you are at a disadvantage. You have been caught unawares, you're not prepared, and then somebody comes to take what rightfully belongs to you forcefully with arm. And then you say that when I fight back, peradventure, and I'm able to kill that person, that's a crime. That's really unfair. So, you know, when they come in to rob, you are not prepared. Of course, there are some people that they write letters to that we are coming to rob you, but it doesn't really happen all the time. So being able to defend yourself is a major strength, and I think everybody should learn how to defend themselves.
But you haven't still told us how you got to understand the psychology.
I just explained the motive.
Okay, sorry, Nema, go ahead.
Okay, so me, I totally understand what Mr. Shogunle was saying. Being a lawyer, I know that self-defense is one of the, in fact, the only defense that I learned early absorbs completely. So a person who comes into your house with the intent to steal is wielding a weapon at you, is, of course, an armed robber. Any kind of weapon is armed. That whether it's a you know, a pistol or something whatever like that, or whatever, is what varies the conviction or the sentencing at the time of conviction. But once a person comes into your house with any form of arm, with the intent to steal, or you're being threatened of that, you're allowed to defend yourself with whatever means that you have. Now, the issue that he now varied, pouring of acid, toning it down, you know, and all that is what I don't agree with. Whatever is available in your house to try to defend yourself in your house. One thing is important that you establish you are in your house, whether it's a rented place or your the real owner of the place where you reside. A person comes in through your door either forcefully or with anyway he finds access into your place. He's coming into your house to do harm to you. You can defend yourself in any way. And with the right team of lawyers, you absorb yourself of that crime totally. Yes. I mean that the court will acquit you and let you go. What is wrong is that maybe for a trespass case, he's passing in front of your house and then you allege, no, I thought he was coming. That's a different thing. We've seen cases where people wonder how armed robbers get away. And you know the person in question never finds closure. Number one is sometimes they come in, they don't just do the armed robbery and go. They leave other, attendant crimes like rape, murder and all that. And you can only imagine what will be going through the mind of a person who is a victim at the time.
Yes.
You can only imagine what will be going through his mind. Number one is if you are not totally confused, the next thing is to find any means, of course, to defend yourself. And that defense cannot in turn be a crime within your residence.
But what if the person doesn't come with a weapon? and just strolls into the house and decides to pick it.
That's a case of burglary.
Yes.
That's a different case. Maybe, you know, those are issues that you can temper down and look at in different ways.
With mercy.
But when the person comes in, of course, within and you have maybe licensed or not,
but
defend your family.
Isn't that this person putting himself in harm's way as well?
No, I need to ask Nima a question, because you said when it comes into your house, what if you are attacked in your car, uncle?
It's the same thing. It's your property.
It's your property, as long as it is your property.
If you are attacked in your car, and the person in question, if you don't have the arm in your car to protect yourself, well, of course, you get away with it. It's only when you do, you can make a call or something. Usually, what I advise?
Your call. They will correct your phone.
No.
You know, I have been attacked by robbers
in
my car. Well, they beat in my body.
Usually.
They beat, don't be silly. Because I was doing...
In the case of agidi. In the case of car...
I was biting, I was punching, I was kicking.
That's self-defense.
In the case of car theft.
By the time one said, give me, I feel boss. I said, yes. I was even still... Kill her, woman, yeah, I will shoot her. I said, the Oyinbo that was in the car, I would say, please don't kill her. Please leave her, take everything. But when they tore my shirts like this, I just said, they can rape me. That's when I now
settled.
Moved away. Blood pouring down my face like this. I was like, At that point, if I had had a gun,
you would have
finished them.
That is the point.
But you see, you can't own a gun without a license.
That's even another issue.
Well, at the time I tried to buy a gun, women were not allowed. I don't know if the laws have changed. But women were not allowed to
carry a gun, weapon.
So
now, in the case of that kind of robbery,
so that is the one gun that should be our hot topic. Why can we not?
Thank God for technology. You can actually track
Nima,
your car.
if you could just hold on. We have Sonny on the line. Welcome to the show. Go ahead with your contribution.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm a first-time caller.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you. Not funny. My name is Sani Mohammed. I'm actually calling from Jigawa.
All right.
I want to speak on the issue of this self-defense you guys are talking about. Yeah, actually, I wanted to comment that what Ma was saying, she's getting it wrong. The issue of self-defense is not about fighting or you defending yourself with arm or something. The best form of self-defense is just to simply walk out of trouble without any issue, because you don't know the strength of the person coming to you. You don't know what his plans are. So it's best if just someone comes to you, just cooperate and let that person go. If you leave, then you take the necessary measures. You saying you'll fight him back or you'll do other things, you don't know what he's carrying. You don't know the kind of weapons he's coming in with. You don't know the number of people that he has that may harm you. So the best form of self-defense is just to simply keep quiet and walk out of trouble. If they are to attack you, if they want something, just give them, let them go. As soon as they move out, you can call any relevant agency or do what you're supposed to do. But fighting them back, you are only endangering yourself and don't know how the end will end. So I think that is just...
All right, thank you, Sani.
So he is talking about self-defense, walking out instead of engaging.
That was why I asked, are you not putting yourself in harm's way?
But self-defense is for people who can really defend themselves. Like when I was in the university, my landlord, who had 7 sons, was robbed. And the sons could defend themselves. So they got up and dealt with the robbers, held them, tied them down before they called the police. When they called the police the first time that robbers were around robbing that vicinity, the police didn't show up till after 2 hours before finally they were able to overpower the police. So self-defense is not for everybody. You need to understand your strength. Can you? Some people are risk takers. They see that, okay, if I leave these people, they might be rape my wife or do something. And okay, let me do what I can. Yes.
We took the
so
Indomie children, what they call that award?
Yes.
For children who did extraordinary things. And we had, take your call.
All right, we have Olarewaju calling from the UK. Welcome to the show. Go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Yeah, I've been trying a long time to get hold of you guys there. First of all, where's Jumoke?
She's left.
Oh, yeah, Jumoke, long time. We haven't seen her on the program.
She's left the show. She resigned.
Oh, okay. Glory be to God. Yeah, you know what? You can self-defense yourself in case of any armed robbery coming into your house, especially in this country. in UK, if armed robber come to attack you, you can attack him or her back with any weapon that you got around with you. But once he starts running away, you don't have to shoot him or hit him from the back because he's running away from you. And if you hit him from the back and anything happens, that armed robber can sue you to court. Because he's running away from you. But you can attack him physically if you get the strength and if you got the weapon to hit him or her. That is it. But I don't know what about in Nigeria anyway. If armed robber is running away, we still run after them, report them with the fire.
In Nigeria, it's
an offense.
In Nigeria,
thank you,
criminal code, it's a defense that absolves completely. And the circumstances that you're painting are psychological issues they will look at abroad. Here, if in a fist cuff and he lands on his face, you can actually overpower him. It doesn't matter. What is important is that you can establish that that defense was a self-defense done within your premises and to absorb you completely. So
let's see what the tweets are saying.
On Twitter, Honorable Ademola Alalade says, self-defense must be done tactically to defend yourself because sometimes you are caught unawares, and if you want self-defense by force, then the perpetrator has a weapon, then you will be in a serious problem. And,
David Nwen, who says, do we get to have licensed weapons?
That's it. But what I know is allowed is pepper spray and all of those.
Pepper spray for gun
have been made available.
Yeah, those
no,
are
but if you use pepper spray, if you use pepper spray and you catch the attacker unawares, you can.
What if I don't have
actually disarm?
You can spray and I have mortar.
If you
that head of mortar, the pistol, and I have a pistol, and I decide to use it on him.
How will you get to him? Someone that has a gun.
No, I wanted to cite the Indomie story of the young girl who was able to save her family from an armed robbery. I remember when Muriel took that one-on-one with her, all of us we were shocked at what she tried to do. She was able to deceive them, send some away, and help her uncles, overpower them and save the family. So sometimes some people are extremely brave and daring, and you cannot then come around and say because maybe in that circumstance they were able to overpower or one of the uncle was able to kill them, and that that's a murder. That's within your house.
Have armed robbers attacked you before?
No, they've not. It's better imagine.
It was in traffic too, like your own.
It's better.
I was daring.
They've come to my house before. That one I was sitting on the. You have to go now. Okay.
Yeah, well,
sorry.
We have to go now. Next, we discuss belly fat. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Well, thank you for staying with us. Now, there is no doubt that most people are fighting belly fat. Some of us are still fighting belly fat. Well, recently, a study shows that excess belly fat could shrink one's brain. So, on the show today, an expert will be enlightening us on how to avoid belly fat. Joining us on the show is a nutritionist and director of Fitness Connection, Iwalola Akinjimo. Thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, join the conversation via 070-8066-8014. Tweet to us at TVC Connect with the hashtag YourViewTVC. Tell us the truth about belly fat, because I'm sure some of us need to hear this.
The truth. Well, the truth about belly fat is the fact that belly fat is a type of visceral fat. Now, when you say visceral fat, it's those fat that is not located under the skin, but rather around organs. And because of and it usually results from 1, your diet, 2, as a result of stress, 3, as a result of the fact that you're probably not sleeping enough. But one of the key reasons why a lot of people have belly fat is as a result of the fact that their physical activity is not at par with their consumption levels. And so people have belly fat for several reasons. And the key thing is that there's no one way to stop belly fat. There are several ways by which you need to address belly fat.
So I heard that you can be slim and still have that visceral fat. Because when we hear belly fat,
or
we
even
look
exercising intensely
and still have that visceral fat. So how do you determine the amount of visceral fat you have so that you don't have too much, because I also know that the fat is necessary for those organs. It serves more like a cushion.
Yeah, you're right in a way, but there are a lot of slim people who have, you know, that midriff belly fat. And, you know, initially when I talked, I said, you know, if you have a life that is very stressful, which is typical of the life we have in Nigeria anyway, particularly Lagos, you need to look at how you react to the stress. Because when you're stressed, there's a hormone that is produced that is called cortisol. And you find out that in people who have belly fat, they usually have very high levels of this hormone in their body. And the hormone is actually released as a result of the fact that you are in stress, you need to react. But when you're permanently stressed, then this hormone is usually high in your body. And so it has no relevance to your body weight. It's as a result of the fact that you're stressed.
It's difficult for me to understand. Because
maybe I have cortisol.
We have people who have belly fat. In Africa or in our own society, what we see clearly is people who have had too many children, they have big stomach, because they've had big children now. They have big stomach because of big babies that they have, or you drink like pepper soup, like for men, and you take alcohol, you have big belly,
lifestyle basically.
Help us understand how this thing cross over to this, because people that are enjoying drinking, are they stressed enough to have belly fat?
Now let me, we can talk about stress is actually change. So even if you move into a new house, as far as your body is concerned, is change and is stress. Now it's how you react to the stress that determines whether you're going to have belly fat or you're not going to have belly fat. Now talking about belly fat, also it's related, like I said, to your consumption. So if you take a lot of sugars, for example, or you take a lot of refined carbohydrates, when I say refined carbohydrates, things made from white flour, which is bread. I mean, if you're looking at a particular industry that is growing so well in Nigeria, is bakeries. We take a lot of meat pies, we take a lot of sausages, we take a lot of bread. Most homes, that's the breakfast, bread and something. Either it's bread and tea or whatever. And then we also take a lot of refined drinks. So it's not just about the fizzy drinks, the carbonated drinks, it's also about the juices. And when you talk about alcohol in particular, it's a very, very serious culprit for belly fat. Why? Because it has empty calories. It doesn't give you anything except the sugar.
It's about gin.
It gives you it gingers you.
Well, that's just something temporary. It's something temporary.
It doesn't give you anything. I'm just trying to qualify it.
And so you have the empty calories. Beers contain a lot of sugars, a lot of sugars. And so you're getting in a lot of refined carbohydrates, a lot of sugars into your system that you're not going to use.
Beers are supposed to be bitter, tasteless.
Are you asking me?
Okay. But it's supposed to be alcohol, it's supposed to be bitter. That's what I understood.
I don't drink beer, but I think they make it with sugar.
They do.
That means it's sweetened.
Yes. It's not just even about the sweetness. Alcohol, when it's broken down in the body, is broken down into sugar. And so when it's absorbed, that is the way it's absorbed.
But so is rice, and so many other things are broken down into sugar. It's not just alcohol.
Absolutely. But you know, the question was specifically for alcohol. Now, when you look at, you know, carbohydrates in general, there's some that are highly beneficial to the body that have a lot of fiber specifically. And when you take in a lot of, let's say, vegetables, for example, it fills your stomach. But then when you take in a lot of rice, it also fills your stomach. So, for example, if you want to eat, you might decide that that plate, 50% should be vegetables and the other should be carbohydrates and your protein. And that helps you keep down the quantity of sugar that you're going to take into your body. Okay, and at the end of the day, that might result into belly fat.
Quickly, if I may chip in, okay, why then some of us do exercise, yet you're not losing that belly fat? So what are we not doing right?
Do you have belly fat?
Everybody claims
she keeps saying some of us, and my heart is just cutting.
Now, exercises are there are exercises and there are exercises. Now, there's the erroneous belief that if you do sit-ups and crunches, exercises for the stomach, you get rid of belly fat. Well, you can, but it's not as impactful as when you do high-intensity exercises and you alternate it with medium-intensity exercises. What I mean is, for example, if you're somebody that does a lot of walking, you walk a lot, and you want to walk for about 30 minutes, you can walk for 9 minutes. For the next 1 minute, run. And then walk for another 9 minutes for the next 1 minute run. And so you alternate medium intensity exercise, which is the walking, with the jogging. Same thing goes with swimming. If you swim, I mean, your regular swimming routine, alternate with high intensity swimming, fast swimming. That enables you burn fat in general, and particularly belly fat. That is one aspect of exercise. The second aspect of exercise is that now what you want to get rid of is fat. And so when you exercise a lot, when you exercise, you get rid of some fat if you do some resistance training. When I mean resistance training, what I'm talking about is things like weight-bearing exercises, because that enables you replace the fat with muscle. Now, I'm not saying the fat changes to muscle, because some people will ask you, does fat change to muscle? No, they're two completely different types of tissues. And so when you do that, that has a better impact on moving out fat from your body than just your regular routine.
So I'm a bit worried because my daughter, my 9-year-old daughter's tummy is bigger than mine. And she got it from her dad. Dad has always had this, you know, round something, even when he was in school. And no, when he was even hustling and everything, he was there. He's still there. And my daughter now, she's the only one who has that big tummy as well. So is it that she has... is it genetic? Is it genetic? Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, there's an aspect of genes, I mean, involved. But what I want to say is that, you know, if you train up children in such a way that they maintain a good posture, they pull in their stomach, and if she's not overweight, you know, because that's one aspect you need to look at, because you have a lot of children who are actually overweight and who are already having protruding tummy as a growing child.
So how do I check if she's overweight?
You have to... Now, what is her weight for height? You have to check her weight for height. And that is something we start... weight for height will give you the BMI. And apart from that, there is a chart for children when they're growing up. For each height, there's this particular weight that they're supposed to have. Anything above, you need to start checking. Because you can actually train children from a very young age to start having a good body composition. Because you find out that most children who are fat, who grow up to be fat adolescents, end up being fat adults. And so they have a lot of work to do to lose weight. So
are you saying that because I didn't eat well as a child,
you did not grow?
That's why my daughter too refuses to eat. She's watching her weight. Well, that's just an aside. I wanted to understand, because it's not every hormone that, you know, is negative. We find out that sometimes when they bring out research, they will say, this research, do not eat this. Tomorrow they'll say fiber is dangerous. Okay, everybody was doing green tea, and the Asians have come again to say green tea is the highest cause of diabetes. So exactly how should we curb the growth of this hormone that, you know, that results in the growth of the belly fat? Is it a totally useless hormone that we should just stop the production of, or is there a benefit to it? I don't understand.
Now, you can't stop the production of cortisol. Now, it's not only that particular hormone that is, you know, that causes belly fat. It's just that in people who have belly fat, they find out that is really high. Now, in terms of belly fat, there's no one injection or one treatment suits it, because we're different human beings and we have different body makeup. But one of the things that works very well is exercise, absolutely important. Cutting down your sugar intake, you know, ensuring that to a very large extent you get a very good sleep. In fact, that sleep component is very important, and it's not the length of time you sleep, it's about the quality of the sleep. So if, for example, you sleep for 9 hours and you're still hearing the music that they are playing, then you've not slept. But if you sleep for 5 hours and it's deep sleep and it's uninterrupted, that is better for you. So sleep.
I have to learn to sleep with my TV off.
All right, let's quickly go on this break. We will return to continue the discussion. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
All right, you're still watching the show, and we are talking about belly fat. And one thing we were talking off the air was, how about those who do gastric bypass, liposuction, and all of that? Isn't that, what was the effect, or what's the essence?
Well, the truth is, some of those surgeries can help. They can help you temporarily if you don't change your diet. you know, I mean, you're still going to have the same problem. And now that you've had a surgery, you might be compounding even the your physiological state. And so it's better to target it using the natural way, which is, you know, change your diet. And we all can change our diets, actually. People feel, yeah, we all can change our diets. I mean, we can take more of vegetables. We can take more of complex carbohydrates. When I say complex, things that are not as processed as your breads, your pancakes, your meat pies.
Like ofada rice.
Ofada rice is very good, actually.
Okay, in our common foods available to us here, semo, eba, and pounded yam.
Wheat.
These are foods that we all love. Some people will now tell you, don't do fufu, don't do eba, because you know this make you get belly fat. But semo is lighter, it's better. But semo is supposed to be processed.
Semo is processed, absolutely. But you find out that semo is processed with the fiber. In some cases, you have whole wheat. You see some that they'll write it there. In which case, they're not as processed as the ones that you see that are just like flour. So there are different types, and I really don't. As a matter of fact, as a matter of policy, we don't preach that people should not take pounded yam, should not take eba. What we're saying is reduce the size. Yeah, not the type of pounded yam in things fall apart.
You know, I even realized that, you know, when we are eating pounded yam, you know, one bowl of pounded yam is like half a tuber of yam. Yes. That's roll. So when you are eating one roll and you eat two,
the soup that
means you are eating. You by yourself have eaten two.
Exactly.
One tuber of.
You eat it with the.
That's why we say, yeah, just divide your plate into two. Make the vegetable half, and then the other one.
Let me tell you something, please. I have. I was concerned more when you mentioned stress as, you know, one of the causes of this belly fat. And we're living in Lagos where we are naturally stressed. Like, I've gone to other parts of the country and the stress is not as much. Their lives are a bit more, you know, they are a bit more relaxed. But here, from traffic stress to no light and all of that, how do we ensure that we don't, you know, gather this belly fat while we're struggling?
Well, the truth is you need to look at stress in another way. For example, you're in traffic, you're in a bus. Who says you can't listen to music? Or somebody is driving, you can start reading. If you don't look at that stress in another way, you're going to be compounding your problem because you don't have a control on the stress. And the fact that you sleep so late and wake up so early, you know, that's the normal schedule of a woman or a man in Lagos. So you need to start looking at it in a completely different way.
Can I take a couple of tweets?
Yes,
okay.
This tweet is from Gigi George. He says, belly fat can shrink my brain. No wonder. Ever since my belly started shooting out, my head has become lighter.
Let me just interject here. We have a caller on the line. Go ahead with your contribution. Welcome to the show.
Hello,
please.
good morning.
Good morning.
Good.
Go ahead.
Concerning this belly fat of the thing, you something like that in a panting.
Sorry? We can't hear you.
Move around, you will see an average man. You can't walk past 5 people without meeting someone with a pot belly. And it's becoming an issue. It's the part of Lagos. I also want to ask a question. Apart from cardio, what other way can someone lose belly fat?
Apart from cardio, he says, what other ways?
I mentioned weight training, and I mentioned having intensity training with light exercises. So, I mean, cardio is absolutely good, I mean, in terms of the fact that you sweat and all that. But it's key that you think through the fact that to move out the fat, you might need to build some muscle.
So what's the connection, like the Twitter you just read now, with the belly fat and the brain? I'm trying to.
Well, the truth of the matter is, when you look at belly fat in general, which is fat in the body, which also, you know, is related to you having a lot of fat in your system, is related to a lot of diseases and illnesses. Diabetes too. I mean, when you have a lot of fat in the body, cardiovascular problems, blood pressure, and so on and so forth. So relating it to the brain is important because it can, not shrinking here, but as a result of the fact that you have the tendency to have mental disorders. And so that is one thing we need to think through very well.
Okay, so what is the right size of belly fat you should have?
Frankly speaking, I'll say you're not supposed to have belly fat at all. Really? And so what you should try to do, because you're not supposed, belly fat, like I said, is visceral fat. It's fat, you know, that when you have...
It has no benefit, so you don't need it.
Now, I'm not saying you don't need fat. I'm saying that belly fat is something you don't need. For example, when a woman gets pregnant, one of the things she does is to lay down fat for breastfeeding, which is beneficial to the baby. And if she's able to nurse well, then she gets rid of the fat, at least the majority of it.
Like my daughter, if you see my daughter, she's like a stick.
So absolutely, you need to have some fat in your body, but not belly fat. That's what I'm saying in effect. And you can reduce it to the barest minimum through lifestyle change,
so
to sleeping well.
Portioning your food. There's the sunnah of the Prophet that you should portion your food in 3 places. So a part for water, a small part for food, and a small part for air. So you don't put your entire plate with a whole food that will fill up all your stomach space. And people don't practice these things. That's the sunnah of the Prophet as Muslims that we've known for generations, but people don't practice it. We as Nigerians want to eat to have power. So exactly how do you portion to have that power? You say you will gauge. He's make you gauge.
I just need another question.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
The belly, the stomach is just here. One ball here. How come when I eat it's here?
Belly fat.
Not here. Belly, stomach.
Belly fat. Belly fat.
The stomach is actually lower. It's around the belly button. It's a little bit lower. It's not right under the diaphragm. Some people, so it's a little bit lower. Now, talking about how to... No, it's not here. It's a little bit lower. Okay, now, when it comes to portioning food across all faiths, you're encouraged to take a lot of greens, a lot of vegetables. And I want to sound a note of caution that fruits don't replace vegetables. They're two completely different things. And fruits contain a lot of sugars as opposed to vegetables. Now, I won't say the more raw your vegetable, but rather the less you cook your vegetable, the more it benefits you. But now looking at, let's say, for example, you have a square for a plate. Like I've measured it. Yeah, 50% should be vegetables. And then the remaining half of the remaining half should be carbohydrates. Okay. And as much as possible, complex carbohydrates from the likes of food.
Thank you so much for all of this explanation. So it's been an interesting time.
No. Well, I did say it's another conversation.
That's a different conversation entirely. But thank you so much for enlightening us. It's been an enlightening one. Thank you, ladies. It's been a great and awesome time. Thank you, Yanni, for making us laugh. Nima, you laughed today after all the tension.
This one has that thing.
Anyway, that's all we can take on today's show. Please don't forget, tomorrow is our live audience show. Have a great day.